Hello everybody, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and I've got another kit review for you today, and this is something again a little bit different. I'll just start by saying your eyes aren't playing tricks. The box is on a funny angle because it's very, very glossy, and if I have it flat on the bench you're going to see this kind of thing. So I've got it suspended up on an angle. So this is a fairly new kit from Kitty Hawk, as you can see. It's one that sort of slipped under the radar for me, and it's one of those that I would normally be buying straight away, and certainly I'm going to be looking for more kits coming out because no doubt they're going to follow this up with other stuff. The Ural 4320 is a very, very common Russian truck which can be seen in all sorts of guises, fuel tankers, articulated trucks, tank transporters, rocket launchers. Here we've got a aircraft starting vehicle, cargo truck, all sorts of different variants. There's been some changes if you look carefully. Like if you look at the TACOM kits, you actually get the different fenders, so you get a different fender and headlight arrangement on different models, so as they change through the years. But basically chassis wise and everything, they've stayed the same. They are amazing trucks in real life, and they are absolutely huge. They are beautiful to look at because they're so ugly, if you like it, in my opinion. They're incredible. They can work. I've just looked up some specs. They can operate without modification in minus 50 degrees centigrade to plus 50 degrees centigrade. So they're obviously very, very capable. They've got a central air system that controls all the tire pressures. Very, very good, big, tough, rugged trucks, and for modelling they are excellent for whatever it is you're doing. If you're building a civilian crane, if you're doing a military troop carrier, or in this case with airfields, it's a fantastic subject because you can beat it to death, have it covered in rust or whatever, and or have it immaculate. So, and then also if you look on Google Images, people will tell you about, Russian green is this colour, it's this colour, it's that colour. There are many images around of these things, and they range from almost, like a dull sun-bleached bloody lime green all the way up to the darkest green you've ever seen. So just fill your boots, really. So this is a fairly new release, as I say, from Kitty Hawk. It's in 48 scale, and you actually get both trucks in the box. What's really nice about it, up until now, if you wanted these things in 48 scale, you kind of had resin, really. There were resin, you've got the resin conversions for the 72nd scale from Trumpeter, but this is basically 48 scale. All you had was resin, which obviously was a little more pricey than plastic kits, and not really aimed at the beginner. And in a lot of cases with resin models, maybe not as well detailed. I think you know what I mean with some kits being fairly simple. You won't get engine detail, you may not get any real sort of under chassis detail. Some resin kits, don't get me wrong, are better than injection molded, but invariably they could be a little simple. But these two, I've seen images of them built up. I've looked at a couple of reviews, just flick through, so this is kind of my review, really. I haven't really looked in the box, so we're going to see what we think of it. I want to just quickly show you a couple of photographs I found online from the Russian Air Force, and you can see here's the first one with it sat there next to a MiG-29, and then you can see the APA-5D here with its boom stretched out either side, so you can see the sort of diorama options you've got there. So having a look on the glossy box, let's have a look around the sides. So we can see here copyright 2019, which is quite interesting because I haven't seen this. I'm sure I would have seen this if it was around in 2019. I did have a quick look online, and it looks like in 2017 AMK were going to produce this. So I don't know. So there's our truck, there's our starter unit, and there's our cargo truck. These can be seen all over airfields doing all sorts of tasks. I've even seen pictures of these towing aircraft, and in here you do get the actual towing dolly. So you can see the towing dolly behind that truck there. So on the end of the box you can see the kit number KH80159, and then on the side of here we've got some health and safety stuff, not suitable for under 14s. Again, we've got those two images, and we've got an empty framed area there. So looking inside the box, it's quite well packed. normal sort of glossy Kitty Hawk instruction manual, and then obviously because there's two kits, you get two everything. There's two lots of tyres, two cabs, two clear sprues, and then we get into these sprues, which are obviously made to fit the box, which is nice because they don't all wrap around and rub each other. And I wish more manufacturers would do this, because basically when it's in the back of the truck and it's getting shaken about, nothing's rubbing against each other and breaking. So very nicely done, Kitty Hawk. So that's obviously the APA sprue there. So we've got the detail, the cab on the back, the box on the back, and then we've also got some cargo bed detail there as well, and cargo bed there. Then we've got this one here, which looks like it's a double sprue. So yeah, this is going to be basic wheel and suspension components for both kits. Got the doors there, cab roofs, cab floors and everything there. And then this is another doubler here. So we've got some parts missing here. I don't know what's been cut out of there. But then we've got some steps there. We've got our ladders for the aircraft, main chassis rails, which look very nice. They do have ejector pin marks on the inside of them, but they're not hollowed out anyway. And then we've got the towing apparatus there for the aircraft by the look of it. All very nicely moulded, some very fine detail there. Nothing appears to be broken at the moment, but all looking good. And then we've got I think there's two in there. Yeah, it looks like there's two photo etched frets, some rope. Is that rope? Yeah, that's string. And then we've got some decals in there as well. So, and now an empty box. So let's have a look at the instructions, and then we'll move on to the kit and have a look at some plastic. So I want to check you in frame, you're not glossed out. It's not glossy inside, so a little bit of glossy bit to start with, but then we'll be okay. So down here you can see KH 80159, Kitty Hawk models, Ural 4320, APA-5D. So this is our instructions. So normal Kitty Hawk layout. I hope they've got their build sequence better than they did with the Bronco. We shall see. And I will be building this, and anything I see in there I will tell you about. So Sprue callouts here, our legend here, we've got our tyres, hose. Maybe that was a piece. I thought I saw some thread on it, and our decals there. These here would probably look a lot better if you painted them, but we shall see. Right, so we've got some chassis construction going on here. So as I say, I will be building this, and I will show you how to do the chassis nice and straight and everything. Make sure you've got a 6-inch rule handy. And then we've got our axles going together there, transfer box. We've got a transfer box brake there rather than having wheel brakes for the handbrake. And then it is 6-wheel drive, so it's going to be pretty capable off-road. Exhaust system going in there. And then over the page we're assembling our V8 engine, which is a nice touch. Front bumper going on, and then we've got our battery boxes, toolboxes, fuel tanks, whatever there. Building up our wheels and tyres, all looking fairly straightforward. Not sure if the wheels have the option to steer. We'll look at that in a minute when we see the plastic parts. I'm also wondering if we have the option for the wheels to turn. It looks like we probably don't. It's not an issue if we're not going to play with it. And then you've got your spare wheel going on there, which is a nice touch. So building up the cargo bed, and then we're on to the cab interior. So it looks like we've got some nice seat detail on the side of the cab there. It does have opening doors, so you can pose it with the doors open. And if you're going to do that, you want a nice bit of interior. And then we're going to build up this towing apparatus for the aircraft, towing dolly, whatever you want to call it. And that looks quite nicely detailed with its little outriggers there, little hydraulic cylinders or shock absorbers, whatever that is. And then we've got the little rest on the front there, so it all looks very fine. And then building up the ladder here looks very nice indeed. It's going to be very fragile little bit of assembly. And then we're into our painting and marking guide. So you've got the APA-5D here and the Ural 4320. Here they're calling up C330, which is a very, very dark green indeed, which is it's actually a British colour. So I would ignore that and actually go with your own colours, go something lighter. And then you've got this orange yellow here, C24, a colour I very much like, and I didn't get it out, so I will show you now. For this kind of thing is this Ural colour here, 310. And it's Lufthansa yellow. Okay, that one there, and it is a fantastic colour for this kind of thing. It is a lovely colour, and also if you use the maybe I'll try it with the new Tamiya lacquer thinner, but if you use it with their own thinners, it sprays very nicely. It just takes a long time to dry. So here we've got the cab assembly going together here. We're adding on the top of the cab, adding on the roof. Bit strange, you're adding all that on and then you've got the cab interior here. So I don't know, just go for it. Here we go with the Kitty Hawk sequences again. So basically, yeah, you're going to do all this first and then do this and then go down to all this. So be careful, don't go and do all that and then realise you haven't done this bit here. Always worth, with Kitty Hawk particularly, it's always worth looking ahead. And then we're going to add the cab onto the chassis there, and then add the cargo deck on the back. Then we're going to build up the actual starting unit for the APA-5D, which all looks very nicely done. Very pretty indeed. And we've got these little fine booms. If the moulding's fine on them, they'll look great. If it's not, they'll look awful. But they as I showed you that photograph just now, they sort of come out and sit there folded out sideways, and hopefully they're movable so you can decide how you're going to display them when you do your diorama. Plenty of PE parts going on there. And then we're going to add the cab, and then add the starter unit onto the back of the chassis there. And then it's giving us an option here for adding the hose, and there's some diagrams there. If you look on Google, there are plenty of images where you can see these done, and how they go and everything. I'm not sure where they terminate. I can't see any ends. I can see there they go in, they plumb in here and they plumb in there, but I can't see any ends like hanging down or anything. I don't know if there's anything you'll have to scratch build, or maybe it's in the kit, but certainly would look very nice if you could get something that would pose that well. So anyway, so I'll get these parts out of their bags, and then we'll have a look at them. Okay, so got it all out of the box now, so we can have a good look. So first of all, here we've got Sprue A, which is a good place to start, and it's a very nice plastic. It doesn't feel too hard, and this is something I might start doing now. It's yeah, it's a nice plastic, nice to work with. It's not all hard, so the knife skates over it, and it's not all soft, so it just digs in. So it's a very nice, as you can see, a tan cutter plastic. It does feel like it may need a wash. It does feel a little oily, but then I always say that, don't I? So you can see here we've got the actual main, the starter unit. We've got a cargo bed there. We've got a cargo sides here. Got the folded out booms, which we'll have a closer look at in a minute. We've got our mud guards here for the cargo bed, some toolboxes, and then we've got some fine steps and handrails and stuff moulded in here. This is the rear and the front of the cargo bed. And we've got some little fine pieces here. It looks like we've got some sort of fairly hefty mould seam lines. But other than that, it's all looking quite nice indeed. Lots of little greebly parts. These little parts here look like little handrails for something, but not sure what they are. In fact, they look like they may be hydraulic hose fittings, so they may be the ends of those hoses we were talking about. But anyway, let's have a close look up at these plastic parts. So you can see here we've got some clamps and everything for holding down the hoses. We've got a cargo bed there. Do we have ejector pin marks on the inside? No, we don't. So that's a nice touch. You can see all those tags hanging off the side there. They're a good clue normally to know ejector pin marks. Got some mud guards there for the rear of the starter unit. We've got some ejector pin marks on the inside of them, but probably not going to worry too much about them. Cargo bed there. Does it have wood grain detail? It's kind of... It's difficult to tell if it hasn't or hasn't. You can see there's something there, but I'm not sure if it's just a sanded mould. But, bottom side there, a few little ejector pin marks, but it looks like they're going to be hidden anyway underneath mud guards and stuff, so well thought out. Thanks for that, Kitty Hawk. And then we've got the base of the actual starter unit there, and you can see we've got the checker plate, or the tread plate there, which is nicely done. And then we've got the slide moulded unit there, the actual APA unit. It's all nicely done, a bit of scoring there where the mould's pulled out, but not going to worry about that too much. We've got toolboxes, mud guards, which are nicely done. detail inside and out, which is again is a nice touch rather than just a flat plastic. Now this is going to be quite a critical item. These are our booms, and they do look to be quite finely detailed. Now, I'm not sure if these were made of L section or box section. It looks as like they weren't tubes, so that's going to be nice and easy for clean up. But if they were box section, they're very nicely done. You've got the seem to have trouble. The camera doesn't seem to want to focus on this tan coloured plastic. We've got some bulk detail on there and everything, so all looking very nice. And we've got the base there for the booms, more tie downs, more odds and ends. So yeah, that's Sprue A taken care of. And then next in line, you can guess what, we've got Sprue B. Who's that, eh? Right, there we go, that's Sprue B in the shop for you. So here we've got lots and lots going on. Lots of fine little parts that could easily have been broken if they hadn't been packaged so well. Little bits like this coolant hose sticking out of the engine there. So obviously here we've got our wheels. We've got vertical spindles there, so maybe we do have steerable front wheels. And then we've got the leaf springs there, transfer box. Looks like our transfer or transmission brake. Got the towing pintle there, some little bits of greeblies, looks like an air cylinder, exhaust system, light, some bits and pieces, I'm not sure what they are, spare wheel rack, water tank, fan belt and everything, radiator there, got the tie rod there for the steering. Obviously engine and transmission halves, they've gone down the same route as Trumpeter did with this sort of tube between the engine and the gearbox. I'm not sure what that's all about. Air cleaner there, dashboard, cab interior. We've got the axles there, more axle detail, some drive shaft detail, and then we've got the front axle there. Is that seat backs or whatever? There's certainly some. Oh, that's the toolboxes by the look of it, and battery boxes, and very nicely done. Then we've got our doors here, roof, headlight mountings, driver's seat, passenger seats, fuel tank, some sort of mounting gusset, steering wheel, steering column, and yeah, all looks pretty good. Are there ejector pin marks on the inside of the doors? Yes, and they are huge. Wow. Okay, so we'll have a good look around this. So we've got some detail there on the toolboxes, whatever they are. Got differentials with our UJs. Seems a bit weird. They've gone to all the trouble of having the steerable wheels by the look of it, but then you don't have a steerable tie rod. So I guess they could be made to work, but I guess it's positionable rather than steerable. Always good to have these trucks shown with the wheels slightly off rather than just have a solid straight head effect. So you've got your axles there with the trailing and leading arms. Dashboard there, which has got quite a nice bit of detail on it. There was a decal for that as well. Radiator there. Other bits and pieces. Not quite sure what that is. Looks like a fuel cap. Maybe that goes in the top of the fuel tank. Yes, it goes in there. So that end there, this end on the top, is going to sit in that recess. Spare wheel carrier. Nice bit of detail on there. Not sure what those bits are. As I say, I've got a pintle there, which is nicely done. Bear in mind, guys, this is 48th, not 35th scale. We've got the wheels there, and you can see the central air control system off to the valves there. And you've got the back plates for the wheels, back plates for the front wheels. And then the spare wheel there with the holes already in it. Transfer box. Leaf springs, they don't seem to have any sink marks in them, which is a nice touch, but they do have some nice... Come on camera, focus. It really is struggling with this tan coloured plastic, I think. And then we've got the front fenders there. Do we have ejector pin marks on the inside of them? Yes, we do. And we've got the great big ones you've got to cut off. And we've got the cab roof there. Doors. Mirrors here, a little bit of flash on them. Part of the steering. Headlight mountings, some gussets, fuel tank, steering wheel, steering column, and is that more of the steering gear? I'm not sure. Passenger seat, driver's seat. As you can see, you've got some nice detail on the side of the driver's seat where you can see if the door's open. But on the back of the front doors, if you're closing your doors open, there are some massive ejector pin marks. I mean, look at that one there. It's like about 0.5 millimetre bloody deep. Jeez. So you'll have them to deal with if you are going to have this pose with its doors open. So they've gone to all the trouble of putting that lovely detail on the inside of the doors and then done that. Oh God. And underneath the cab floor you've got those ejector pin marks there, which I'm not going to worry about really. And there we are. So that's Sprue B. Bit of a shame about those doors. Especially, you know, when they went to all the trouble here on the cargo side. Do you think they've done the same with the doors? So never mind. And then finally, sorry, that one there, the one I just showed you, get 2 of those, and this one here you're going to get 2 of these as well. This is Sprue. Guess what this one is? This is Sprue C. Yeah. Right, so down here we've got something clearly missing. Now I'm not sure. Yes, that would have been the cab. So they've taken it off rather than get it damaged in the box, which is a good thought. Thank you very much, Kitty Hawk. So we have on here, we've got our main chassis rails, we've got our bumperettes at the rear, got some cross members, another towing pin tool, front bumper by the look of it with steps, and then we've got some little bits and pieces of chassis. Oh, this is for the towing dolly, all that there by the look of it. And then we've got the, not sure what that is, that's going to be for the towing dolly as well. In fact, all of this, by the look of it, this is all towing dolly. So that whole half of the sprue there. So you obviously get 2 of those, because I say you get 2 sprues. So that's a nice touch. So you could actually have one of these attached to a truck, and then on a different diorama you could have one of these just sitting next to the airplane. So it's good to have these sort of things around. I remember I've said this before, I was at a show, and a guy had a beautiful 72nd scale Trumpeter 295 Bear, and he had some 72nd scale trucks around it, and it really gave, it wasn't a diorama, it was just displayed with it, and it gives you sort of depth because you know how big a truck is, kind of thing, but you don't know how big an airplane is, and it kind of does, it really gives it a good scale to look at. So it's good to have things like this around. But you can see the detail on this ladder here is very, very nice. We've got the steps there with the raised grip detail on there. So chassis is moulded as a solid section rather than a C section, as it were. And you do have some ejector pin marks on the back, so you may want to get rid of them or hollow it out or something, I don't know. But probably best just to fill them so they don't stick out like a sore thumb. But let's go around the sprue. See little bumperettes there. We've got some chassis parts here, cross members, and we've got our main chassis rails there again. You've got some nice bolt detail on the mountings and things. Front springs are incorporated into the chassis, and then we've got a load of nothingness other than down here we've got some steps, bit of flash on the sprue, but nothing much on the parts to look at. And then we've got here, this is going to be our little framework for our towing dolly. There we go, that's the undercarriage for it. And then we've got our ladder that goes up the side of the aircraft. And then the wheels for the dolly. And then the actual dolly itself, you've got the mechanism on the end there that's going to hook into the undercarriage of the aircraft. And we're going along here. Yes, I saw that, I'll come back to that in a second. Then on this end we've got the actual end that's going to go onto the truck itself. And in the middle here you've got a massive sink mark. So whether that's going to matter or not, whether the suspension parts will cover that, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, it is there, it is huge. So there we go, so you get 2 of those, as I say. And that's very nice indeed. So the actual cab, we get 2 of these cabs. We've got something on the side there, and I can't quite see what it is, so I'm going to grab a magnifier and quickly have a look. Yeah, as I thought, they've got like a symbol here that kind of looks like something but it doesn't say Ural. And it's not like the Russian shape Ural either, so they've obviously not got the copyright. So there we go, nice cab, nice separate roof, which keeps all this all nice and fine and nice finesse on it. But it's very nice, and we'll just look. Like I say, this plastic appears to be, yeah, it's very nice to work with. It's very Tamiya-esque, if you like. You can see I'm cutting it there, and it's not ripping chunks out of it. It's not ting flying off, so it's not hard. It's not soft. It's very nice indeed. But very fine windscreen frame there, some lovely detail on the side of there. Very nicely done indeed. Even that dog thinks so. So here we've got a tyre. You get 14 of these per truck. Sorry, you get 7 per truck, 14 total. And these really are nice. They are vinyl, but they're very hard. They're almost like styrene. They're that hard. Maybe I can cut this centre, and you could hear how hard that is to cut. It's not your normal soft, squidgy, horrible stuff. It's, even with that cut out, it's still quite difficult to squeeze. So, but they are probably the nicest vinyl tyres I've ever seen in a kit. They're beautiful. Look at the, you've got the tread detail on there, which is really nice. There's a very small seam line there, which is off centre, so you could actually put that. It's the same, they didn't put the seam line on the same side as they got the sprue, then you have one perfect side. But you've also got all those lines which are so typical of these Russian balloon tyres, and you've got all the lettering on there as well. Now, whether the lettering is factually correct or not, I don't know. But you've also got arrows on there, so you are going to have them with different sides showing. But yeah, they are beautiful, really nice. I would say, you know, if the wheels fit these nicely, why bother with resin wheels? You don't need them for this. They're lovely. Very impressed. Thank you very much, Kitty Hawk. Very nice indeed. Clear sprue. Obviously you get 2 of these, and it does look very nice. Obviously it should do is just flat, but it's quite thick, which is a bit of a shame. I'm not sure about distortion. Let me just grab something that we can look at here, so we can see what it's like distortion wise. It seems okay. It doesn't seem to be blurring anything under it. You can see in the reflection they're not perfectly flat, which is also sometimes a good thing, because they sometimes look better not being flat. And then down here we've got our headlights, which are nice and clear. I should be adding some bulbs into the back of there, as I showed you before. And then we've got rear lights and everything, and side lights. So yeah, that's very nice indeed. I'm going to put that straight back in its bag so it doesn't get scratched. In my kit, this bag was actually open. The heat shrink didn't actually seal. It wasn't very good. So there we go. We've got this, what I thought was string. It's not. It's actually a matte coated wire. It's very fine, but as you can see, it holds its shape. So it's got wire inside it, which is a really nice touch. So that should be quite easy to do the hosing with, if you care to. And then we've got decals here, 1 decal sheet, not 2. Quite glossy, quite thickish, and all in register. As I say, I think these would probably look better if you painted them. It'd be easy to paint, really easy. And you can see there, I'm talking about that Lufthansa colour here, that yellow colour. You can see what I mean. It's a very good match. So that's the decals, and we can see what the instrument panel there, which is very nice indeed. I'm liking this kit a lot. I don't think I've found anything negative to say about it yet, have I? Jet pin marks in the doors are a bit of a shame. But 2 of these photo etch frets, and didn't remember seeing these in the instructions. You've also got wipers there. We've got some, I don't know, do you call them number plates? Would they be registered on a Russian airfield? or would they be like a division number? I don't know. But you've got some wiper blades there, some marker lights, side marker lights or reflectors or whatever, some bits of brackets and stuff, and some grills. So very, very nice indeed. So all in all, a lovely kit. Clear parts look to be a little thick. These tyres are gorgeous. If the wheels fit them nicely, then we're on to a winner here. In fact, let's have a quick look. Let's cut the spare wheel off the sprue. And that's nice. These sprue connector points are on the back of the wheel, so rather than having them actually on the edge that you need to be up against the tyre, they've actually got them on the back edge. So quick run round with a sanding stick like so, and that's it. They're ready to go on. So how are they going to fit? Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't quite sanded that off perfectly, but we can see here that those wheels fit in there bloody perfect. They are lovely. You don't need resin wheels for this one, guys. And we'll give these tyres a coat of the we'll try the new Tamiya LP tyre black on them. I've used the MRP tyre black on vinyl tyres before, and it works absolutely fine. But yeah, they're really nice. They haven't got that shine to them either. They're the best vinyl tyres I've ever seen. I'll go far as there we go. I reviewed a kit last week, didn't I? I said, is this the best plastic kit ever? I should have said, is this the best plastic 48 scale kit ever? But this is very, very nice indeed. Very nice tyres, and I'm keen to build one of these up and see what it looks like, because it looks as though it's going to be a really pretty little model when it's built. Because you've got the 35th scale, which is like this. You've got the 72nd scale, which there isn't really a nice kit of. The trumpeter one's okay, but the clear parts are a mess. And then of course you've got your resin and everything. But no, this is very, very nice. So this has been the Kitty Hawk Ural 4320 and APA-5D pair of trucks. Don't forget, they also do the weapon loading set, where you get two of everything in that as well, and you get two engines, you get an engine stand, you get fire extinguishers, jacks for supporting the wings. Really, really nice little set. You got everything for a diorama, and you count my words now, keep your eyes open. I'll bet they come up with next a 48 scale refueling truck, and hopefully it'll be the articulated one, because there is a Russian articulated fuel truck which has got a very big tanker on it on the back. So that would look very nice. If you know, I love my 48 scale stuff, and if you look back, I did a build of it's kinetic really, but it's Skunk Works. Let's try to think of the name. Skunk Works models, 148 scale R11 American fuel tanker, and that's lovely because it's such a lovely size. So looking forward to building one of these, and keep your eyes open for that coming soon. Bye for now.